Hello everybody, we are moving on to section 2 in chapter 9 where we are going to compare and order integers. So that means we're going to talk about greater than and less than and put things in order from least to greatest or greatest to least. So that means you're going to have to pay careful attention to the instructions on any given problem so you put things in the right order. All right, so I want to start by looking at a number line though. Notice we're actually going to start here in the middle at 0. And everything to the right of 0 is positive. Everything to the left of 0 is negative. Now, as we look at this, remember, the farther to the right that you go on a number line, the bigger the number is. 20 is bigger than 9. 9 is bigger than 0. And as we go left, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. One way to think about it is temperature. Think about how negative 20 degrees is far colder than negative 1 degrees. So going left, smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So when you're working today and comparing numbers and figuring out which one's less than, which one's greater than, it may be helpful to use a number line. So draw one for yourself or go download one. There's plenty out there on the web. Download a number line for yourself so you can line everything up where it needs to be. So if you have to compare negative 7 and 4, if you're looking at going, I'm not sure which one's smaller, you can see negative 7's farther left, so it's going to be smaller than positive 4. Now we're going to do some examples related to this as well, and our note sheet will have some number lines on it for us. Okay, so we have our note sheet here now, and as we work, like I said, we're going to use a number line to help us. Now as you get better and better at this, or if you're already a little familiar with this, you may not need a number line as often to help you. You're going to know which number is less than another number. But it's here right now to help you. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the number line to compare each pair of integers, and we're going to write less than or greater than. Remember, this symbol is less than, and this one is greater than. Less than points to the left. Both start with L. Less than points left. Greater than points to the right. Goes the opposite direction. I don't have a good one there. All right. So let's look at the first one. Negative 2 and positive 2. Here's negative 2. Here's positive 2. So negative 2 is to the left of 2 on the number line, which means negative 2 is going to be less than 2. Remember, we always read our inequality statements when we're comparing. We read them from left to right. Okay, next ones. 3 and negative 5. Let's find 3. Let's find negative 5. 3 is to the right of negative 5 on the number line, so that means 3 is going to be greater than negative 5. Negative 1 and negative 4, they're both negative numbers. That's okay. Negative 4 and negative 1. Notice how on the number line, I'm just marking different little symbols, so I just pair up the symbols. Negative 1 is to the right of negative 4. That means negative 1 is greater than negative 4. They can both be negative, and you can still compare greater than and less than. All right, moving on. Let's look at the next example. Order the integers in the set from least to greatest. So notice that's what it says. Least to greatest. Smallest to biggest. Pay careful attention. You can't just jump into a problem and assume you know what you're doing. You've got to read carefully. You do exactly the right thing. All right, so the suggestion here is let's graph all the numbers on the same number line. If you need to do that, go for it. So negative 2 is right there. Positive 3. Negative 1. Now, if we have to write them from least to greatest, We're going to start and we're going to go left to right. So read them, from left to right. -2, -1, +3. Okay, let's look at the next example. 4 of them. I think we can handle it. Plot all the numbers on the number line. 4, -3, -5, and 2. Now read the numbers from left to right as you're looking at the number line. So maybe we'll make that little. Then read your numbers from left to right on the number line. So first we see, oops, I missed, didn't I? You're probably going, why did you mark -6? Because from the angle I looked at it, I thought I had -5. There we go. -5, -3, 2, and 4. We went from left to right on the number line. All right, last type of example. We're going to talk about golf. Now, one thing I should explain with golf, kind of two things. It's about scoring. Because if you don't understand this about scoring, the problem isn't going to make sense. So, in golf, lowest score wins. That's one thing. So maybe make note of that somewhere. Lowest score wins. And when they talk about a golf match or a round of golf, negatives are good. Let's see, right that way. So you have, when you play golf, each hole you come to, they say you should make it from the tee where you start to the hole in a certain number of shots. That's called par. So when you're par, and this is true for miniature golf or regular golf. From the tee to the hole in the assigned number of shots. If you go over the assigned number, you get a plus. You're +1. You did one extra. So that's par. So extra shots are added to par, which is 0. Less shots or fewer shots are subtracted from par. And so that's how you get negative. Now I know some of you play miniature golf, you play regular golf, you know this already. Some people don't. And so that's why I wanted to explain this. Otherwise, these problems, you'll see a couple golf problems in your homework or something. It's not going to make any sense. And so I figured I may as well just explain it. Anyway, let's look at this. In a golf match, Craig scored +2, or what they sometimes will say, 2 over. Cameron scored +3 or 3 over. And Rob scored -1, which is 1 under. Who won the golf match? All right, all you golfers, you're going, I know the answer. Good. Hang on to that thought. Let's just work our way through the problem. Because part of the point of this problem, too, is to think through a problem-solving process. So, the answer will be the player with the lowest score. Lowest score wins. That's why part of our understanding was I gave you this background information. So we need to list our important information. Craig scored +2, Cameron scored +3, and Rob -1. So you need to make some sort of plan to figure out how are you going to order the scores from least to greatest. You could do like we've been doing. Draw it on a number line. So Craig scored 2. Cameron scored 3. Rob scored -1. So Rob's score, -1, is farthest to the left. So it is the winning score. Rob won the golf match. And just as a way to think back, negative integers are always less than positive integers. So neither Craig nor Cameron won the golf match because there was somebody with a negative. So in case of golf, that's a good thing. All right, let's do one last example here. Use the number line to compare the pair of integers, 2 and -3. Here's 2, here's -3. But remember, look at where 2 is. 2 is to the right of 3. So that means 2 is greater than -3. So use your number line to help you organize things if you need it. Make sure you're writing stuff down to help you keep yourself organized. And happy practicing!